Have you ever wondered if having more money will bring you more happiness? Some people devote their entire lives to working and making as much money as possible, thinking more money equals more happiness. And as I begin to start a new business and working myself diligently, I was even questioning my own motives. Why am I doing this? Will this make me happy or just stress me out more? Is it to impress a girl? So now my plan is to find someone that's gone through the highs and lows of starting a business, someone that's gone to jail for money, someone that's gone from broke to billions. And I know just the guy.
Steve Madden.
Steve Madden is a self-made entrepreneur who turned $1,100 into a billion-dollar empire. He's also gone to prison for his involvement with the Wolf of Wall Street and stock manipulation, but now has hundreds of stores around the planet and has a worth of over $3 billion. So now, we just need to get a hold of him.
So run, as fast as you can. And run, and start it again. Run, as fast as you can. And run, and start it again.
So I got a hold of Steve's publicist and she said he is down to be in the vlog. So tomorrow we head out to Queens and I befriend a new billionaire. So fired up for this. Woo! Now before we do head out to meet up with Steve, I did just want to give a quick thanks to today's sponsor, Soundcore by Anchor, for sponsoring this video. They just released their new Liberty 4 NC earbuds, which I've taken these things everywhere with me, from commuting through New York City to trips around the world. Also, these earbuds feature the exclusive adaptive ANC 2.0 technology, which detects and creates a noise-canceling curve tailored to the user's ear and the environment. They even reduce noise by up to 98.5%, which is perfect to combat the noisiness of New York City. And one of my personal favorite features about these headphones is that they get up to 10 hours of playtime. And also, there's so many times where I'm just on the go and in a rush and forget to charge them. But if you plug them in for 10 minutes, you get up to 4 hours of listening time. Definitely comes in clutch. So if you guys want to try the new Soundcore Liberty 4 NC earbuds and experience their studio quality sounds for yourself, then you can click the link down below. So we just made it here to the Steve Madden office and factory. This is where they make the shoes. This is where they run the company with hundreds of employees. This is where they manage hundreds of retail stores. So we only got a little bit of Steve's time, so really excited to go learn from the man himself. And this is so cool to be coming back here because this is actually the location where Steve launched the company. But now they grew so much where they have this entire massive block, as well as the one across the street for more offices. All right, time for this meeting with Steve Madden.
Hey,
Steve Madden.
what's up?
Steve,
How you doing? What's going on?
Look at this. It's like my girlfriend's dream closet right here. So before I sat down with Steve to talk business, he gave me a quick tour of his insane factory, which I must add was super impressive to me, with knowing that we were still in New York City. Since this place was so big, it felt like the North Pole for shoes.
Steve, what made you want to name the company after yourself?
I had another name, and I had some partners, and just before I started Steve Madden, and it was always like controversy. Who owns the name, and who owns this? It was called Soulier. Like 15 people said they owned the name, and I said, you know what, this. Steve Madden, I know who owns it, and that's the way it's gonna be.
Mic drop.
What are we doing today?
We are going to be talking to you about starting your business, get some more of your story,
Yeah,
and share it
good.
with my YouTube audience.
Okay, let's do it.
I wanted to thank you for taking time out of your busy day.
What's going on? All right.
I'm super excited to talk to you because I feel like you are an icon in not just the women's shoes industry, but in fashion in general.
Yeah.
And my background was actually starting a clothing line, got into 100 plus retailers. Now fell in love with content and taking a different direction. But I wanted to take it back to you falling in love with women's shoes.
So, well, I've told the story many times. We have a book out called The Cobbler.
Yeah, there's a
Show
book
that
out.
book. Yes, buy that book. It's so good. It was just a serendipitous situation. I was in high school. I needed a job, and I got a job in a shoe store. And the owner of the shoe store went to school with my big brother, so he hired me, and that was it. And it was just cool right away. I said, this is cool. Get to meet girls, sell, work hard. It was great.
So did you see it more as an opportunity because you saw almost like a window in the market for women's shoes, or was it that you genuinely loved it?
I was interested in making money.
Yeah. How accurate was the Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh, the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. Well, I don't look like, the guy that played me.
Yeah, I was going to
Jake
say.
Hoffman, I think his name was Jake
Okay.
Hoffman. And he had great hair, and I don't have great hair. And he was very handsome also. It was not a great depiction of me, but I was quite happy with everything. And it was a great film.
I guess you have it from a different perspective, but even like off the camera, I think that you made you an icon.
Let's give it up for Steve Madden and his awesome Mary Lou. Hold that up, hold that up, hold that up proud.
For like people who maybe didn't know you as well.
Especially with men.
Yeah.
Young men. That's for sure. It was a great film, and it was a crazy time. And they did capture the spirit of what it was. It was the most insane thing that you could ever imagine. And there was so much money being thrown at young people, guys your age, and just insane amounts of money, so you could expect what happened, the craziness. They didn't know what to do with the money. They couldn't spend it fast enough. Lots of lessons were learned, and I made some mistakes.
So it's gotta be Steve. He's the only person with that many shares.
Donnie, call me back, all right?
Donnie, your little friend is trying to f me. You know that? Your little friend is trying to f me right.
Get him on the phone now. We don't know anything yet. Let's have.
And it was a hell of a time. It was a great film.
This is almost, more advice for myself, also for my
Yeah,
audience. I know will
sure.
appreciate it, where right now I told you, I started a clothing company. It did well. Now doing content and love it so much, and I'm financially free.
Yeah.
But now embarking on starting a new business, and I've had to really dive deep into what those things are, why I want to do this, whether it's for legacy, whether it's for sharing the story of starting this new business with millions of people on the internet, and hopefully inspiring people to create their own new business.
Yeah.
So for you, someone that's been doing this for years, what keeps you so excited in the morning to wake up and to still do what you do?
So there's a couple of things. I do like making shoes, and I do like making shoes that girls want to buy. I really dig that, and it's a turn on for me. I mean, just to see people really enjoying my shoes is such a great reward. And then the other thing is, I like to make money, and I like to pay the rent, and I like to feed my kids. That's what I do. I view it like that. It's very sort of healthy. Does that make sense to you, what I just said?
Yeah. So do you think you more just feel obliged, as you're responsible for now having a big office, having employees, that just you also just want to make sure that the business stays afloat?
Well, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is what we do. We make great shoes. We make profit. We hire lots of people. We give them a great place to work. I take it very seriously.
Do you think of business at all as a sport, and that you are very competitive and want to just, whether you're competing against yourself?
No, I do actually. I think of it as war. You're out there, and you're at war with your competitors, and I've always felt that way. When I'm not working, they're working. They're trying to beat me. They're trying to take my success.
Steve, what was it like going from being broke to now having millions of dollars so shortly after?
I went from being broke to riding around in private planes, private jets. That is true. It was a crazy time, as I said, and you had to grow up fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you change anything if you could go back to those earlier years?
So, of course, I would not have been so greedy and foolish. I wish I wasn't. But of course, I don't regret the past. I don't regret anything. The experience made me what I am today, shaped my life, and so all those experiences were important. I mean, you don't know what could have happened if I didn't go through all that. And of course, I have wonderful kids today as a result of my horrible past. Certain things happen, and so we don't regret the past, but we must learn from it.
Can we ask Jack a question?
Sure.
Jack, you want to be in here for a second?
Yeah.
So we got Steve's son in today. This is Jack.
Yup.
Jack, what is it like to have Steve Madden as your dad?
It's good. He's a really good dad. I don't really have to answer that question.
your allowance. Yes.
Cool. What do you guys usually do?
Watch sports together. We go to Net games.
Maybe play a little golf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, you're a big golfer.
Yeah.
Well,
It's cool. I think that it's awesome to see someone like yourself who's so busy with business to know that like they're still such a good dad and family man. So glad that we went to the source and found out that he actually is a good guy.
Yes.
Another like question that I'm personally interested in knowing from you. I feel like a lot of people, you know, my age, younger, who want to start businesses, they have all these ideas but are afraid to take that leap forward and make the next step.
Yeah.
So what's your advice for someone that maybe has a couple ideas and is afraid to maybe go with one and then ends up not going with any?
Yeah, perfectionism is a problem. You know, nobody's perfect. There are certain kinds of characters that want to be perfect. You can't be perfect, so you have to accept that. I would say the big problem with young people is they don't know their craft well enough. That's something that I've noticed. You know, people don't pay their dues. And, you know, paying dues just for the sake of paying dues is but I mean, like, learning the job, working, you know, getting in the trenches and learning how it, I always liken it to, like, if you want to open a restaurant, you know, like, it would be cool to be a waiter for a year or 6 months to really learn how it works, you know. A lot of people don't do that.
So I'm almost getting the vibe that you're saying, like, patience almost. And
oh God, yes, patience and learning the business, learning the craft. I mean, I could never have gone into business in my 20s, you know, without, you know, I went in my 30s after I had worked for many, you know, been a worker. So I think it's important.
Amazing. So you've created $1 billion empire at the cost of even going to jail. Would you say that money buys happiness?
First of all, money does not buy happiness, and money can't buy you love. But if you do something that you love, you're liable to be successful at it. And if you're successful at it, you could make some dough. So, no, there are other things that make you happy. It's more of an inside job. Unfortunately or fortunately, money can't buy you happiness. I say it's both ways because, you know, you have to find it inside somewhere.
So Steve also just came out with a book called The Cobbler, and this is an autobiography on your life.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's my journey, and which sounds so pretentious. I don't mean it to be, but it's, you know, my story filled with mistakes that I made. So hopefully it could give someone some hope that they could come back from some adversity. You know, drug addiction, prison. It's a pretty interesting read. It's quick. I think you would enjoy it. I think it's a good book.
After spending the afternoon with Steve, I learned that no matter how much money you have, everyone still goes through their own struggles. And that money may be able to buy you a nice car and even a private jet, but happiness truly can only come from within. This chat has given me a new perspective about my own journey as a young entrepreneur, that money can't be my only motive, and that creating an organization that brings value to the world is much more important to me. I hope you guys were able to garner some new wisdom from Steve and this video. But until next week, let's get out and get busy in the next one.